This podcast is part of the Pull Up a Chair podcast network. Let's build community through connection, conversation, and collaboration. This podcast is sponsored by Lever Consulting, editing with a purpose. Check them out at leverconsulting.com for a free consultation.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm V.
And you're listening to Cringe With Me, the podcast where we dig up the cringiest articles, questions, and tidbits of human culture to review with you, our listeners, so you too can cringe with me.
I'm hypocritical, but at least I know we could be beautiful or maybe terrible.
All right, well, again, I wasn't able to find the gems that I'm used to being able to dig up, unfortunately. But I feel like we still have some space to explore with these. So the one I have for this week, it's an Am I the Asshole? I feel like a lot of mine for a while are going to be those because
It's a classic form for you.
Yeah. So this one is titled, Am I the Asshole for going bridezilla after my bridesmaid spilled wine on my wedding dress?
Excuse me, what? Oh heads would roll.
Oh no, it's worse than you think, actually.
Oh no. Okay, and you tell me this isn't a gem? Guys, before we started recording, we were talking, Ryan was complaining that he hadn't found any good ones, but that title gets me. So you are incorrect, sir. This already seems like it's going to be a gem.
Okay. And I mean, to be fair, they can't all be the man I'm cheating with is cheating on me and I'm upset about it, so I told his wife.
Oh my god, that was so good. That was such a good episode.
Yeah. The article. I, 27 female, got married a month ago. My dress was this long, lacy gown that my mom wore at her wedding.
Oh.
For context, my mom passed away 2 years ago. So this is her deceased mom's wedding dress. Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my god.
Because the dress was so important to me, I had a big plan to keep it safe from any damages. I would only wear the dress at the wedding itself. I would switch to a more casual dress for the reception. When I was wearing the dress, I wouldn't eat or drink anything except water, and I would stay inside at all times. Okay?
Okay.
I promise I'm not usually this crazy about cleanliness.
No,
but this was my mom's dress. Yeah, right?
You
exactly.
have to be.
But this was my mom's dress, and the thought of it being damaged broke my heart. But I also knew I wanted to wear it when I got married to have a piece of her with me. So, very sentimental, very, very heart-melting, right?
Yeah.
She adored this dress and always dreamed I would wear it, for context.
Oh.
My bridesmaids knew very well about my particularities with the dress. I had a room above the venue where I was getting ready. My dress was hanging in a safe place in the room.
Okay.
So we've set the scene. Everyone knows how important this dress is. Everyone knows all the precautions that are being taken.
And I don't think any of these precautions are like overdone or exaggerated. I think like there's a reasonable amount of precautions to take with a dress that's this emotionally heavy.
I agree. I think it's pretty reasonable. On the day of the wedding, I went down to check on something for the wedding, leaving my bridesmaids in the room. Here's what happened as they told it to me. As they told it to me makes me wonder if this is the truth, but this is what was said. They opened a bottle of Pinot Noir, my favorite, as a celebration. They poured themselves glasses and began to walk around checking out the room. One of my bridesmaids, Anna, another 27-year-old female, wanted to get a closer look at my dress. She got really close to it and she started touching the lace. Somehow her hand holding the wine glass slipped and wine spilled all over the bottom of the dress.
Why wouldn't she just set down the bottle of wine to go look at the dress?
When I came upstairs and they told me what had happened and I started sobbing, my maid of honor called several professional cleaners and they said there was no way they could get the dress in before the wedding. They told us ways to save the dress until we could get it into them. So my maid of honor started doing that. After that call, I became extremely angry. I asked Anna what the hell she was doing holding wine so close to my dress when she knew how careful I was being. She dismissed it and said it wasn't such a big deal because I was planning to wear the dress, so it could have gotten damaged that way too.
No longer friends. No longer speaking.
Right.
You don't exist to me
anymore.
anymore.
Her argument is, Well, the dress could be damaged while you're wearing it. So the fact that I damaged it is not relevant.
No longer friends.
I couldn't believe she said that. I called her thoughtless and careless and stupid. I told her that she was no longer part of the wedding, that I wanted her to leave. She left, and neither of us have reached out to the other since. I got married in the dress I had planned to wear for the reception, and I was heartbroken not to be wearing my mom's dress. After the wedding, my bridesmaids joked that I was a bridezilla for kicking Anna out after she made a quote-unquote honest mistake.
No.
I absolutely don't think I'm the asshole or a bridezilla because Anna's reaction was so horrible and insincere. But I wanted to get the story off my chest and ask some people who might be more impartial.
No. Like, that's unforgivable.
Yeah, I think that you have to allow some leeway for honest mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Accidents happen, mistakes happen, but there's definitely a level of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Carelessness.
Yeah, there's a lack of regard here, because it's one thing to say, I was walking across the room, stumbled, and the wine glass launched wine.
I was just thinking, it's
right?
not like she tripped and fell.
Yeah.
She decided, I'm going to walk up to that dress holding a glass of wine.
And be so careless with it that I'm going to spill wine on the dress because I'm so distracted by the lace of the dress?
No.
Like, is the dress so distracting you cannot keep your basic faculties in check? Maybe they were already drunk? I don't know. Like, there's so much going on here that I'm just like, this is extraordinary levels of carelessness to the point where I'm like, someone wasn't paying attention to the thing that this person had gone out of their way to do and explain to them, right? If she had been super careful but hadn't expressed why it was important, that's one thing. But she was being super careful and she expressed to these people, this is important to me. These are all the precautions I'm taking. And this person basically, from their explanation, it sounds like, decided, well, that's silly. Yeah. It sounds like she believed from the beginning that her precautions were silly. She's like, well, it could be damaged anyway, so who cares? This is all silly. You're being ridiculous. And then proceeded to be careless, almost in challenge of those precautions.
Like, let's see what will really happen if this dress gets dirty.
Yeah.
And the bride still had to live with the consequences. She didn't get to wear her mother's dress on her wedding day.
Right. And as much as on some level, there's a part of me that does agree slightly that, like, okay, in the large scheme of things, this is a very small problem, right? This is not going to affect your future or your life. It is a sentimental thing. It had value to you. It didn't get to happen. That does suck. That is, of course, sad.
Yeah, she's going to look back and regret that for the rest of her life.
Right. But it's not something you think about every day. It's not something that's going to affect you on a day-to-day basis. It's not going to have harmed you in a serious way. It is an unfortunate thing. It is sad. I think it is sad. It is a bummer. It is an emotionally charged thing. And she likely won't be able to think of her wedding without thinking of it, which is sad.
Never.
Right? That is a bummer. But that's not the point, right? The point is she went through all this effort to do this, to take these precautions and explain them. And someone just blatantly ignored them in a way that almost feels like when children challenge authority and they're like, you tell me not to do this thing, I'm just going to go do the thing over here. Nothing bad will happen. Oh, something bad happened. I will pretend like it's not a big deal now. Like,
yeah,
that's
very childish.
It's a trope in movies, right? It's the you warn the kid not to do the thing, and there's the scene where the kid's doing the thing, like, I don't care, and then the bad thing that you're trying to avoid happens. Like, that's what happened here. This feels like it's out of a movie.
It's ridiculous.
So,
and I don't see, that's not really even like a bridezilla moment. That's a, how can you be so careless about my thoughts and feelings moment? Because, like, let's say they did mention that the dress was saved, but what if it wasn't? What if her...
Actually, I don't think they said the dress was saved. They said it could be saved. There was no follow-up about what happened to the dress after that. It's such a wild thing to me because I'm like, this is a 27-year-old, and I'm like,
You're too close to 30 to be acting like you're 16.
Yeah, kind of, right? Like, there's this thing where I'm like, you have the faculties and experience at this point to know, like, you know the trope. There's no way a 27-year-old hasn't seen enough movies where this kind of thing happens to know that this is a thing that can happen, right? Like, this is...
I almost find it more likely that she tripped and the wine went flying around the room.
Sure, but I think if that had happened, someone would say that because that's more excusable.
That's more excusable,
right?
But like...
Also, her reaction wouldn't be, well, this doesn't matter anyway, right? Like, to me, the reaction is the incredibly hurtful part. It's the, oh, yeah, well, this was stupid anyway, and I don't know why you even care. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, okay, you should get out. Like, I would have done the same thing.
Like, I never want to
Maybe
see
it makes me a
you.
bridezilla.
Oh my God, you're a bridezilla.
I'm a bridezilla.
I was called a bridezilla too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
I didn't invite my mother.
Oh, right, yeah, you told me about this. Yeah.
I think
okay.
we might have talked about it on air too.
I feel like maybe you have. I feel like that has come up.
Yeah, I'm crazy. Anyways, not a bridezilla moment. I don't think it counts.
No.
I would have even found it more like, I thought you were going to come at me with like, oh, she fell, and then they tried to hide it, and they tried to clean it, and it made it worse.
No. It was just, I was being careless. I did the thing, but the thing doesn't matter, and I don't know why you care so much.
See, oh my God, that's so uncomfortable. It's so cringy. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a good episode. You are finding gems.
I don't think it's a gem, but I do think that this behavior from an adult is pretty cringe.
Oh God. Could you imagine?
I mean, I've had to.
See, and then her other friends are on that person's side and not hers.
Yeah, I also, like, there's a part of me that's like, it's cringe that the friends would be like, oh, this thing you got so upset about, we're going to make fun of you for it now. I'm like, I know there are people who are like that are like, oh, this thing obviously upset them, now we're going to bring it up. But as personally, to me, I'm like, I don't find the fun in mocking people for things that actually hurt their feelings.
Yeah. No, see, and in a very sexist manner, too. You never hear about groomzillas. It's always a bridezilla. It's always a woman going crazy about a special event.
That's true. Groomzilla isn't really a thing.
No,
maybe it's Groom Kong.
I'll have to look that up. We'll see if that's actually a thing.
Because, Godzilla and King Kong. Yeah, I feel like it's got to be Groom Kong.
Groom Kong. And then there's like the momzillas and the mother-in-lawzillas.
That one I've seen.
Yeah, see, there's like... They found a cheap blow to throw at her over. It's not like, oh, you were being a bad friend by kicking her out. It's not like, oh, you were being overly dramatic about a piece of clothing. It was, oh, we're going to insult you because it's a bride and your wedding. It's a bride and you're on your wedding day. So that means you must be a bridezilla, ha ha ha.
Yeah, it feels like low-hanging fruit.
Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Think of more creative jokes. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. I think that does it for this one.
Okay, one more thing. They should be joking about her mother coming back to haunt the friend.
Oh, I love that. See, there you go. That's the joke right there. That's the thing you can talk about at the wedding that makes people laugh and makes levity of the situation without taking away from the emotional impact of it.
Yeah, there we go. I fixed it.
Beautiful.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right, well, I'm Ryan, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Build, Write, Roll, where I post about my professional Dungeon Master experiences. You can check out the links in the description if you're interested in hiring a professional DM or looking to level up your own DM skills.
And you can find me, V, at Cringe Queen at Instagram and Twitter, or check me out on YouTube as the Queen of Cringe, and be embarrassed with me.
All right, well, thanks for listening and cringing along with us.
And we'll catch you next time with more awesome cringe content.
I'm hypocritical, but at least I know we could be beautiful or maybe terrible. Only one way to know. Only one way to know.
Sarah and Scooter Podcast is a conversation between,
You guessed it,
Sarah,
and Scooter. We are not experts on any of these topics.
just hoping to spark something like an idea, conversation, or even a revelation.
Subjects will vary depending on our friends, family, and community.
Sometimes it will be what we want to talk about.
New episodes drop every week on all of your favorite podcast formats.
So pull up a chair and
And let's talk about stuff.